I'm Dar Hosta, and today I'm going to show you how you can take old packaging that you would otherwise throw away as garbage and turn it into beautiful little 6-page art booklets that you can use as diaries or as little vacation albums. I'm going to be using these actually for my holiday cards. So I'm going to show you how you can upcycle garbage and turn it into a beautiful piece of artwork. Now for this book, because I'm going to make copies, I'm going to use a base that's going to be my original. So I don't have to be able to fold it or cut it because I'm actually going to make a copy. And what I wanted to use for this is I want to do some upcycling. So I've got this chewing gum box, which I am going to cut into my 8.5 by 14 size, and then I'm going to build my artwork on that. If you haven't worked with gesso, it's really great. This is a gesso that's made by Liquitex. There are other brands that you can use, and gesso is sort of like a primer, and it's just a really very popular thing. A lot of art journaling people are working with gesso, but it gets a surface prepared so that you can start to put other paint colors down. Again, I have this right next to me so that I can see where kind of my lines are, but I'm not going to be worrying too much about being exact. I just want to kind of block out the different segments of the box so that I will be able to put the images on kind of where I want them. So then you just use your gesso and you kind of just go in and you block out where you're going to want to put some more color. The cool thing about gesso is you can use it full strength, which is what I'm using right here, and you get a nice opaque finish. But you can also water it down, which I will do when this is dry. I'll do some more watery gesso, which will give you kind of a translucent feel. Also kind of a snowy kind of feel, which is what I'm going to be going for in this piece because it's a winter book. Gesso is an acrylic, so it dries very quickly. And now I'm just going to take the leftover gesso that I have in my plate and I'm going to do a little bit of splattering. And that will give me kind of like some spotty sections in the middle. For this project, I'm just going to use some craft acrylic paints. These are Craft Smart paints. They were really inexpensive. I got them at Michael's. I think they were just a little bit over $1, $1.29 or something like that. Generally speaking, I use Liquitex acrylics, but since I know I'm going to be making color copies of this, and to me it's not important to use a Liquitex paint. Now I'm starting to get all my colors blocked in, and of course I'm using a diagram that I made, and I made it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, but it's going to work out exactly the same way. I just needed to know what am I putting on page 1 and 2, so I can tell which colors I want to put into which block based on the diagram that I've made. So I'm just about finished putting together all the color blocks, and this will be the base of the artwork that I do. This one I've kept kind of white, just kind of a snowy thing, put a little splatters in there, and it's just about finished. I'm even doing a little bit of extra watered down gesso because it does leave a really neat transparent look, and it kind of looks like snow. So now I'm starting to decorate what's going to be my book, and I know which parts are the front and which parts are the back because I've been using my diagram to guide me, and I sketched out all the different pages. So I'm working on the front and the back, and I'm using some ink right now, but I also put some stickers down for my title, and then I'm going to use some colored paper and make some collages. I've also got some cool like postage stampy kind of things, because ultimately what I'm going to do is when this is all finished I'm going to mail this out as my holiday card. So I've got about the whole thing finished, and I'm just going to finish up with I think just a few stamps. This is a snowflake stamp, and now that it's done I'm going to take it and have a copy. Here's my front and back of the little booklet. The front is on the right, the back is on the left, the orange one. Here's the first opening spread. I've treated it as a book spread so that there is like a whole picture on the left page and the right page. And then in order to see the next one, I'm going to flip it over. Here's the next spread, and I took a cardinal out of another illustration that was printed in one of my books, and I just cut that out, put it on there, and drew some new legs on there. I used a piece of an old phone book down here on the bottom, and I don't know if you can see that, but it actually is my name, Hosta. And then my final spread here, I've used an old postage stamp and made a collage out of the house with some holiday lights. So I'm just back from my UPS store where they were having a special on color copies, and I had 50 full color copies made of the original piece of artwork. They turned out terrific. The colors are nice and bright. And then I actually had them do a black and white copy on the back of the directions on how to make a 6-page book out of one sheet of paper. Remember, I'm using these as my holiday cards, so I figured if they go to a house where there are kids who would like to learn how to do this, I've included the directions for the project on the back, as well as a link to this video. These 50 copies, front and back, cost me a total of about $35. So I've got 50 holiday cards done this year for $50. That's a pretty good price. So when the copies come out of the copy machine, they actually have a bit of a white border going all around the edge. And what I've done, because I want this to turn out more evenly, is I've gone ahead and used a paper trimmer and I've trimmed it all along the edges, 3 at a time to save time, to make it a full bleed around the edge. And now I'm going to do the demonstration of how we make the book so that you can see this booklet made right before your eyes. So, if you remember the steps, you remember that the first thing we do, and there's the directions I printed on the back, is we fold long. And remember, that's called the hot dog fold. We fold long. Then we unfold it, and we fold short. And that's called the hamburger fold. And then, without unfolding it, we take the bottom edge here, move it up to the middle where we folded it the second time, turn it over, we fold it up again, and this is the step where you make the W. That's what we just did. We made the W. You can see the W right there, right? Now, without doing anything, we take our scissors and we grab the top of the W, remember, and we cut a line right where that first fold was, the hot dog fold. We cut it right down to the middle, and now you can see your W's got a cut in it like that. And this is where the final step comes in. This is the squish squash, squish and squash. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a really bright orange envelope so that when everybody who receives these opens them up, they're going to open it up and they're going to see that snowman and the orange envelope. And the title of this book is called A Little Book of Winter Cheer. Again, you could use these for books of poetry. This is kind of like a poem. You could use these for little scrapbooks for a vacation or a trip that you take. You could use them as a diary. You could make comics. You could write song lyrics in these. You could make lists in these. And, of course, you could use them as a handmade card. Everybody loves a handmade card. So you can see how easy it is to make these cute little art booklets without a lot of expensive supplies by just using things that you have on hand. To learn more about me and my work, visit me at darhosta.com.